Hi everyone, New England Gardening here. I've got some cuttings, at least one, that I need to get into a cup. And these are some leftover Black Madeira cuttings. I sold some Black Madeira cuttings last year, and when I trimmed them up and shipped the ones out that I sold, I had these leftovers. I think there's one large one. And I actually had them in the fridge the whole winter and didn't pay too much attention to them. So I finally decided to put these in a bin, and I put them in the bin here on May 2nd in the moss. And they didn't really do anything for a while, and I don't think I looked at them maybe yesterday or the day before. And this sometimes happens. I was going to take the camera and show a little round starchy nodules, I sort of describe them as, before the roots start to come out. But then all of a sudden what happens is they can explode into roots. And I thought maybe 2 days gone by, and all of a sudden I'm looking through this to air it out, and I see this explosion of roots sticking through the moss here. So I need to get that into a mix. I don't want the roots to grow too much in this moss, because then they get broken easily when you try. Oh, there's some more on that one, or is that the same one? I think it could be different. But that's what happens. All of a sudden, you can get these roots develop real quick. So as soon as you start to see these little white dots building up, that's an indication. And even at that point you could put it in a cup probably, but I like to keep it in this moss until the roots start to form. See the buds, there's one over here, looks like the bud's starting to break. You can see the dampness of the moss. I mean, if you squeeze it, I do have some water coming out, but it's sort of spongy and it absorbs the water. It's not like sitting in a pool of water on the bottom of this bin. I'm in the lean-to here, and I don't want to be in here too long because it's. I opened up the door; it's a little warm. I don't want to stress these fragile roots. But this is the mix. I was going to mix some, and I found this in the cellar, and it's a bit dry from last year. I wish I had thought of this ahead of time. Could have rehydrated this, but I'll get this wet. But look how little soil I have in here. This is the mix that I settle on, and you'd just be surprised how long this does stay damp, and it creates just a lot of air pockets for the roots to develop. And if you have it in the bin, you have high humidity too, so it's almost you're relying on the humidity level in the bin for the moisture. And especially during the cooler months, if you're starting cuttings real early, here in New England, if you have wet soil and not too much aeration, you're going to risk rotting the cutting real quickly. And I've sort of gravitated away from the perlite and vermiculite mixture to just putting them directly right into this pine bark, perlite, and a little bit of soil mix. And they seem to do great in this. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, where I am, I just stick it in the soil. Well, you're not where I am. I mean, I'm sure in Indonesia you could probably tape one of these to a tree and it'll root in high humidity. But this is what I find, or have found, works for me. And this is what I've settled on, and I'm not losing any cuttings. So let me get this nice and damp here. Would have preferred to have it set overnight to rehydrate this, get it evenly moist, but I'll put it in the bin. It should be okay. So actually that was a mistake. I should have just left the soil dry, because it would fall more easily around the roots as I was holding the cutting. and then I could have just soaked it while it was in the cup repeatedly to get it. It's such a well-draining soil that it wouldn't have overwatered it. So here's, I think this is the longest cutting that I've got here. Yeah. So you can see the roots exploded off the side there. So I'm going to put this in this clear cup, get it down to about like that level there. So there'll probably be more roots along that will get created. I'll put some soil in here in the cup. You can see all the pockets of air. So little pockets of humid air get created in there, is what I think. And then it also prevents it from rotting, being too wet, which I found could happen with the perlite and vermiculite mix. Also, it was more difficult to transfer. This here, I found that I could just leave them. I could just leave them in this cup for like the whole season and into next spring, and they do fine. Fig trees can really take drying out, but they, especially this early stage, they don't like to be drowned and have their feet wet. And again, this is what works for me here. I mean, we're still going to have another frost warning, I think. Not tonight, but northern New England. It's going to get in the 30s, or the low 40s. You can see the big pockets in there that get created with this pine bark mix. And I'll put that in the bin if it fits where I have the grape cuttings. Let's see what else we have in here. I know there's one. Well, this one here has a couple of branches on it. So when I shipped these, I wanted nice flat cuttings to fit in the box that I was using. So I cut these multiple branches off. I might have to make some more soil up. I wasn't counting on all these cuttings making it because I waited so long. So it looks like this one here has roots also. See there? Get that in a cup. think I'm going to have to mix some more soil up. So this looks a little wet, but I'll have it sitting on the grating and this will dry out. I mean, all the excess will easily drip out of these cups. You can see it's already doing that. So I think I have an open bag here, some garden soil. I think the packaging has changed on the garden soil that I usually would buy. It seems like everything already has slow release fertilizer in it, which I'm not looking for. This is a little wet. No organics in here though. Oh, that does have slow release. That's not what I want. Do I have anything around? So this is the agway bark that someone told me about, and I didn't think there was an agway within driving distance of me, but I found one. Let's see. It's a green bag that I usually used. Yeah, this stuff here, they didn't have it this year. I didn't see it. I'll get some left over here. Like this. And I'm just going to eyeball this, get it to the texture that I want. All these bags I have to get a trash can, put them in, because this plastic is just starting to disintegrate, so I have one big pile of agway pine bark and plastic. This is sort of similar to the 511 mix that is popular with container citrus. That's actually why I bought a lot of this agway bark. I was sifting out the larger, chunky pine bark mix for landscaping to get this material this size. That looks good. I get some perlite. So that's what I have. I did go back and put a couple more handfuls of the pine bark in. So let's see what else I have. I mean, at this point, I don't know how many left in here, but since the others already have roots on them, I might as well just go ahead and put these other cuttings right into the mix. Now, what do I have down here? I got little bits and pieces. Wanted to see how small a cutting I could get to root. So this one here, you can see right here, tomorrow or the next couple of days, this will just have an explosion of roots right there. Maybe I'll use this as an example and look at it later. Leave it in the moss. What else we got? I see there's a little bit more green. Maybe I'll leave these in so we could take a look at them later on, a couple of days, compare them. This is what I usually do to air out all the moss anyways. I look at all the cuttings and fluff up the moss. Oh yeah, I got little bits and pieces here. You can see on this one, that's really going to have, but on the other end, I have some mold starting to appear, so I might want to scrub that down a little bit. Give me some more time. This might be a goner. It's starting to turn brown and it's iffy. There's a really small piece here. So that's what I have left. So I'll put these, I'll fluff up the moss a little bit and I'll put these on top and then a layer of moss on top of these, have them sandwiched, and let them go a couple more days and see what happens. So I'll just take some of this, put these like so. So I've got three. Last thing, I want to make sure to put a label on them. So I put down the date I had them, put them in the bin, and the date that they went in the cup. I have to make 2 more labels up. Thought I only had 1 cutting. So this is Black Madeira in the bin on 5/2/15 and in the cup on 5/20/15. I'll get these in the bin. So this is New England Gardening with some Black Madeira cuttings, and I'll update you on these as soon as I hopefully see some roots appear on the side of the cup. Well, I thought I'd show you the status of the grapevine cuttings while I put these fig tree cuttings in here. I managed to squeeze them in. Got the one here, here, and in the corner here. But you can see, I don't know if they're, unlike the fig tree cuttings with the plastic cups, the clear plastic cups, I see all this new growth on the grapevine cuttings, but I couldn't tell you if I've got roots. So these 2 here don't seem to be doing anything, but I do have a couple from each ascension that at least have leaves. Again, I don't know if they have roots. So that's the status of that. Thanks for watching.